This is Kardec Radio for Teens.
And now it's time for real life-changing dilemmas from a Spiritist perspective. The Diary of Alex with your host, Mark Smith.
Welcome again to the third edition here of The Diary of Alex. I'm your host, Mark, and we're now in the university with Alex. Remember, the last time we met Alex in his diary, he had just gotten notice that he had gotten into medical school. And this was a life-changing event for him because it would be a moment where he could take the energies that he has to want to do good, to want to take all that energy and direct it towards something. And he felt drawn to medicine. And this was something really important that we talked about last week. Finding what you're drawn to, what is your passion, because that may very well be directed by something greater than you possibly realize. And so I'm going to start now with the diary as he begins his first classes at the university. Oh my, I can't believe I'm finally at the university. I love my classes. I absolutely love them. My first day of class, I got involved in such an interesting discussions with the students after class. I asked my professor 10,000 questions. I'm so excited about learning medicine, learning how the body works, learning what drugs do and what different techniques there are for helping people. I'm so excited about it. I just started basic biology classes at the moment, but I can't wait to really get into stuff. And I've met a lot of new friends. It's so exciting because now I have some hope in my life. You know, I feel like now this is the moment that I can really begin my new life, new friends, new career, new thoughts that I can become excited about. And the only thing that happened a couple days ago is there's a friend of mine that I met in class and diary, and I maybe because just because everybody else does it, I just decided to go down the bar to the bar down the street with the other students. Maybe I just can't face my feelings about my family. Maybe I just feel a little bit frustrated with the way things were at home. It surprises me. I thought I would be stronger than this. I thought I could face these feelings more directly, but when I noticed that I just had one drink, and then I started feeling I could talk better, and then all of a sudden, all those emotions, all those bad emotions seemed to, it made me forget everything. It was so much easier to be around people. And I don't know, diary, I'm starting to think that maybe that's not the greatest idea, but something keeps making me want to drink. The last week I've gone to the bar 4 times now. The only day I didn't go was because we had a lab after school and it was too late and I couldn't get there, but every other day I've been there with these guys, and I don't know, maybe I need to think about this a little bit more. I'll write back soon. So you can see here that Alex is facing a difficult situation. He's beginning to realize that he, quote-unquote, needs alcohol in order to face his feelings. He's starting to think that alcohol is something that allows him to be more himself. And yet at the same time he realizes that there's something strange about it, some kind of influence almost, like the alcohol is taking over his life. And there's 2 lessons from this that we can learn. One, and the first lesson that we're going to talk about today is how Alex may very well be lacking awareness of his reality as an immortal spirit. That's something we can take from the Spiritist perspective. And another more general point we can make is how Alex may be lacking the tools to deal with his emotions in a more constructive way. Let's start with the first point, the point about lacking awareness of your reality as an immortal spirit. Remember, going back to the Spirits book, you may have read this before. Allan Kardec asked the question, how often do the spirits influence our lives? And the spirits answer back, more than you could possibly ever imagine. Well, one thing that we can get out of the book Sex and Destiny by Andrew Luis is a really vivid account of the spiritual influence that happens when someone picks up alcohol. And in this account, in chapter 5, we meet Claudio, who goes home and feels that he needs to drink. And he drinks regularly, and he feels in his mind all the time this soft little whisper in his head, drink, 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 drink. Unlike Alex, Claudio drinks alone, but what Claudio doesn't really realize is that the little whisper is actually two discarnate entities that are constantly encouraging Claudio to drink. Dr. André Luis tells us that Claudio takes these suggestions all the time from these spirits, and his desire to drink is magnified or is increased by the desire of these discarnate spirits to drink. So it's the spirits that want this. He's never alone. In fact, people who drink are never alone. That's the important thing we realize. Remember, as Allan Kardec discovered, the spirits influence our lives more than we can ever imagine. And so we see this in Sex and Destiny. We see the spirits surrounding Claudio, hugging him almost to suck this energy emanating from the alcohol. Because ultimately what the spirits want is alcohol, but because they are discarnate spirits, they're using Claudio's physical body as almost like an intermediary to drink. And this could help explain to some degree, it's like a spiritual explanation for why it might be so difficult to quit an addiction. We can't stop because of this synchronicity we develop between ourselves and the spirits. Effectively, we lose control of our willpower. So what should we do? Well, that goes back to the second point that I wanted to make, how we need more tools to deal with our emotions in a more constructive way. One thing that if you find yourself drinking too much, and basically drinking too much, in fact any drink is probably too much from a Spiritist point of view, as you notice, because here you're noticing here that the influence that the spirits have over you when you drink is something you don't want to play with. It's a dangerous game that you're getting involved with. Remember that the actions that we take and the thought forms that we have attract certain spirits. And do you want alcoholic spirits traversing around you every day? This is something you really need to think about, because ultimately your own free will is at risk through every drink of alcohol that you have. And it's that chance of becoming addicted is so great. So if we find ourselves in these situations, it's important that we have the psychological source of support from family members, doctors, friends. To get out of these patterns, we need that support, because we need people to help us with our thoughts, to help us see other ways of looking at what we're saying, to help us to reconstruct our feelings and thoughts and the thought patterns that we have, because those thought forms, as in Genesis chapter 14, they become like we emanate through our thoughts energetic fluids, and these thoughts become surrounded by fluids that attract like-minded spirits to us. And so if we drink, we're effectively surrounding ourselves with the type of thought forms that might drag us into depression and despair. So our family members can be a source of support, doctors. We can avoid isolating ourselves, being honest about our behaviors. But from a Spiritist perspective, we can do even more. As we are immortal spirits, let's seek help of our support from our Spiritist Center. And we can undergo spiritual therapy at the Spiritist Center, whereby you would receive a transfusion of energy that would help you and connect you to spirits around us that are more positive. Of course, through prayer, we can connect ourselves to Jesus. Jesus always says that if one or two people get together in my name, I'll be there too. We can think of Jesus as a doctor of our souls, who will call our guardian angels and spirit mentors and help us to change our thought patterns, renewing ourselves, connecting ourselves to something greater than what we could ever imagine. And remember that by treating ourselves, we're also helping to free these spirits surrounding us as well. So if you're experiencing addictive behavior, don't feel ashamed. Embrace others, yourself, the world around you with love, and go forth and seek the help you deserve. Go to trusted people in your school. Go to trusted family members. Go to the Spiritist Center. Don't isolate yourself. Be honest. Tell people what's happening. Remember that love is a powerful influence, and we have within our power to change the spiritual energy around us. I hope to encourage everyone who's experiencing a drinking problem, who may be listening to this now, that it's not too late. You have the resources at your disposal right now to help you through this, and to help others as well, incarnate and discarnate. I hope this message enlightens your minds and hearts. And let's say a prayer now to close this chapter in Alex's diary. Dear Universe, thank you for the gift of everyone who helps with alcohol addiction. Thank you so much for giving us all the beautiful resources at our disposal every single day to deal with and face addiction. Let's give special thoughts now to everyone who's experiencing an addiction, incarnate or discarnate. Right at this very moment, let's give them a ray of hope. Let's send our love out towards them so that they may seek help and support that they need. And so be it. Thank you, and I'll see you next week for another edition of the Diary of Alex.
This has been Kardec Radio for Teens. Thank you all for listening.